Right, guys, what is up, and welcome to album review number 23. Today we'll be reviewing Pantera's The Great Southern Trendkill, released on May 7th, 1996 on East West Records. This lineup consists of Phil Anselmo on lead vocals, Dimebag Darrell on lead and rhythm guitar, Rex Brown on bass and backing vocals, Vinnie Paul on drums and backing vocals, Seth Putman on additional vocals on The Great Southern Trendkill, Warner of 13 Steps Nor and Suicide Note Part 2, Ross Capelman on keyboards on Suicide Note Part 1, and Living Through Me, Hell's Wrath. Now, this album is one of my top 5 favorite albums of all time. Definitely my favorite from Pantera, and also their heaviest, in my opinion. Now, let's get into the review, shall we? This album starts out with the title track, The Great Southern Trendkill, which has one of the best opening screams in metal history. Now, this song talks about the people in society who blindly follow every latest trend until the newer one comes around. And Pantera's disgust of those passion-lacking people just makes this track all that fucking more better. Now, in my opinion, these people aren't even being themselves. They just want to belong to a more socially acceptable crowd. The next track, War Nerve, which is my personal favorite track on the album, Phil lashes out at the media and its false statements pertaining towards him. At the time, Phil was starting to become addicted to painkillers and other substances, and it didn't help the public's perception of him either. Thus, he made the lyrics on intent of putting any bad rumors of him and Pantera to rest. In my opinion, it's one of the most lyrically aggressive songs in Pantera's entire discography. The next track, Drag the Waters, which is a warning against those who are not forthcoming with their intentions, which has one of two potential readings of the album: dragging the water, searching for a corpse, or searching for a person's true nature or intention. Next up, we got the song Tens, one of the more softer songs of the album. Although Pantera still brings forth their signature intensity, the lyrics concern the topic of death, possibly referencing the lead singer Phil Anselmo's drug dependency at the time. The band tones it down a little with straightforward aggressiveness of the previous 3 tracks by a slow, somber style similar to the one of Cemetery Gates from the Cowboys from Hell album. Next up is the track 13 Steps to Nowhere, which brings the aggression and anger right back in, only this time there's a groovier sound that recalls Pantera's older days of Cowboys from Hell and vulgar display of power. Phil's lyrics consider the Earth's eventual demise, not just its physical end, but its apocalyptic state due to other people messing it up. Here, drummer Vinnie Paul unleashes one of his all-time best drum fills ever, giving a perfect backing to the song's aggressive nature. The next track, Suicide Notes Part 1 and 2, deal with the thoughts of someone before they take their own life. The song is soft and slow, but the second one is incredibly fast and loud and right in your fucking face. Phil wrote the lyrics not long after he had overdosed on heroin. He was clinically dead for a short period of time before being revived. The lyrics on his part deal with the problems the narrator faces. He uses drugs to ease the constant pain he suffers. He has had it with life and contemplating just saying fuck it and end it all. One of the most fast-paced songs in the band's discography, reminiscent of the thrash metal genre Pantera was influenced by in the first place. Next up, we got Living Through Me, Hell's Wrath. One of the most fast-paced songs in the band's discography, reminiscent of the thrash metal genre Pantera was influenced by. The lyrics concern lead singer Phil Anselmo's mental state at the time, as he was battling with heroin addiction and had to deal with tension between him and his bandmates. This foreboding tension and atmosphere is perfectly represented by the rest of the band, especially when Dimebag Darrell demonstrates his vicious guitar abilities throughout the entire course of this fucking track. This fucking track is killer, man. You know, it's probably up there on my top 5 favorite fucking tracks in the whole album. Next, we got Floods, which features one of metal's most famous guitar solos of all time. The lyrics are about a flood that comes along and ends all of mankind. It's an allusion to the biblical flood from the book of Genesis, which is part of Noah's Ark story. God was essentially disappointed with his creations and wanted to start fresh. And some equates the great flood with his modern times question if mankind deserves another reckoning for its sins. The next track, The Underground in America, continues the topic of the title track, The Great Southern Trendkill. This time, it's about the posers that are acting like they are part of America's underground culture, but in reality are just a bunch of fake weaklings that just want to look cool. And finally, we have the track Sandblasted Skin, which concludes the story of the Great Southern Trendkill's title track. The trend was popular for a while, but now it's been forgotten and killed. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this review. I give this album a fucking 10 out of 10. I would definitely recommend you check it out. It's one of Pantera's most heaviest and brutal albums of all time. Anyways, this has been Luke, and if you would like to see me review any other albums, just put them in the comments below, and I'll try my best to get to them. Yeah, make sure to have a good rest of your day, and don't forget to stay fucking metal. Cheers.